Fitzy and Wippa.
Lights, camera, hilarity.
Ooh, Sarah. Inspired by the true crime story that shocked the world, Elle Fanning stars in The Girl from Plainville. Now streaming only on Stan.
In the top 3 trending stories in entertainment this morning, the first one, Bruce Willis. This is very sad. He's been diagnosed with a degenerative brain disease known as aphasia. He's going to step away from acting. His ex-wife, Demi Moore, who he's very close with, released a statement on behalf of the family saying that they wanted to share this news. He'll be stepping away from the career that has meant so much to him.
So no cure for it, Sarah. Here, it'll get just worse and worse.
Yeah, and they say it typically occurs after a stroke or a head injury, but we don't know anything about that.
I'm not familiar with it.
No, it impacts your ability to speak, write and understand language, both verbal and written. So obviously very tough.
I mean, ageing is a horrible thing, isn't it? I mean, unfortunately, in a situation like this. How old is Bruce Willis?
He's 67, so not that old. And you would have thought in pretty good nick to look at him.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
There was talk of it because he was doing all these movies. He was doing like 8 movies a year. And they were like, some of them were horrible movies. And the rumour was, because he had this disease, is that he was trying to make as much money as he could before he stopped working.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't need to make any more.
No, he has done very well for himself.
Very well. Guys, police seen at Will Smith's house this morning amid safety concerns. There's been drones flying over the top of the property. Obviously, people are concerned. Everyone fairly intensely trying to get vision of Will Smith and obviously a statement from him, despite the fact that he has apologised on social media. One of the hosts of the Oscars, Wanda Sykes, and she was with Amy Schumer as well, and I can't think of the other one. Regina Hall.
Yep.
The 3 of them were hosting. She sat down on Ellen, actually, and she has, because we don't really know what Chris Rock's been thinking this whole time. He has been spotted. He's back on his comedy tour. Apparently, sales have gone through the roof.
Yeah, I bet.
So works for him in that sense. But Wanda has revealed exactly how disgruntled she is and the other hosts with the Academy. But then as well, she spoke to Chris Rock at the after party.
For them to let him stay in that room and enjoy the rest of the show and accept his award, I was like, how gross is this? This is just the wrong message. You know, I saw Chris, at Guy's party, and as soon as I walked up to him, the first thing he said was, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, why are you apologizing? He was like, it was supposed to be your night. It was supposed, you and Amy and Regina, y'all were doing such a great job. I'm so sorry. This is now going to be about this. Because that's who Chris is.
Chris is a sweet guy.
Yeah.
A good effort for him to even go to an after party afterwards.
Yeah, but you know what? It looked like fake happiness, didn't it? I'm going to carry this show on to try and play it out that it's not a big deal. You know the instant reaction you had of this disbelief? Now that you were a couple of days into it, more and more the reality of the act is even worse.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Totally.
It is such a bad reaction and a bad thing to do.
The bad reaction from Will, but more and more it looks terrible, as everyone is pointing out. Why did no one escort Will Smith? Even if in the moment there's total panic, within the 10 minutes afterwards, why didn't someone who was working at the Oscars remove him from the theatre to say, hey, step outside,
that's a tricky one, isn't it?
It's a tricky one because you don't know if you're making the right... You know what? And it was so confusing when it happened. You don't know if he actually slapped him.
But wouldn't you say, hey, Will, like, no beef, just for 5 seconds, can you step outside? Like, they didn't actually say to him, not even in a, we're removing you from the premises, just someone saying, step aside, we won't put the camera on your chair so no one will know you're gone.
Because he was winning the Best Actor award a few minutes later.
There was like 15 minutes between. Like,
panic would have been, how do you go, all right, his name's on the trophy, we've got that ready to go, we've got the speeches, everything's ready to go. His mates have taken him aside and checked him and said, hey, Will, you saw a couple of them gather around him fairly early on. Are you all right, Will? You know, is everything okay? You got this together, Will? But I don't know what I would have done. You kind of put yourself in that situation as the organiser. Who are you to go, hang on a minute, that doesn't work, because you kind of don't know the reaction as well.
Wippa in the office, I mean, what would be your immediate reaction?
To remove Wippa? No, that's disappointing.
No, I wouldn't. We don't slap. Like, we all muck around.
No,
we never
we-
hit.
we
tushy
hug.
tap.
We
don't
tushy tap. Yeah, okay.
That's
Moving
another
right
thing
along.
altogether. If Will had got up and given him a tap on the bum.
Well, that's just loving and endearing, and Fitzy gets that from people because we love him. He doesn't get a violent whack. He gets a little touch of your bottom.
That would have been great television if he went up to Chris Rock and just grabbed him on the bum.
It's like the cricket team. It's that sort of tushy tap.
Okay.
Anyway, finally, guys, Drew Barrymore, we know she's trying to get back out there and start dating again. She is not doing so well. Have a listen to her latest attempt.
I walked up to a guy in a park and I was like, "Are you single?" And he was like, "Perhaps." And I said, "Well, that's not no." And then I was like, "Are you gay?" Because I also always bark up the wrong tree. And he was like, "No, I'm not." And then we got to talking and we had such a good laugh and such a lovely talk. Then I was like, "Ooh, I think I forgot to ask you a very important question. How old are you?" And he was like, 28. And I was like, "Oh, no! Oh, no!"
Still would have.
You would have.
She loves young men.
Yeah, I think she might
Don't
have.
worry about that.
Fitzy and Wippa.